Here with the welterweight champ in the world in mixed martial arts, but he's wearing a gi for a specific reason. You were part of the Gracie train today, coming out to do the workouts. How cool was that?
Yes, sir. That was amazing. Working with my idol, my inspiration, and feels amazing.
He actually did something that we always do in jiu-jitsu class, where somebody gets blindfolded and you have to roll and use sensation and feel. How cool was that?
I never did that in my life. It's first time ever, and it was weird. I'm gonna work on that a little bit. I think it's a good thing to do.
What were your thoughts when you were doing it, though? Because you're dealing with Royce Gracie and understanding the motion and how different it actually is to feel something as opposed to see something and passing the guard or going for a Kimura.
I was so intimidating in the beginning. I didn't know how to go to grab him, and I was like, oh my God, it's Royce Gracie. I felt a little bit weird, but then as it goes, I feel more comfortable, and it was good.
And at the end, you used an elevator sweep and put him into an armbar. You looked like you were scared at the end of that.
I didn't know, I couldn't see, so I do the best I could. I didn't want to put my foot in his face or touching his eye or, do something, scratch him by mistake. I wanted to be very respectful. I was very intimidating, but what a great experience. I will stay in my mind for the rest of my life.
The first thing that I thought when I saw you guys rolling on the mat is the symbolism. The very first guy that won the UFC and the guy headlining the UFC's 20th anniversary show. Do you ever think of that? How cool that actually is to have the guy that started it 20 years ago and the guy who's at the top of the food chain right now?
Yeah, it's a great honor for me to headline the 20th anniversary card, and even a bigger honor to be with Royce. So it's amazing for me, dream come true.
Cool story about when you first fought Karo Parisian and you're in the dressing room there. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, it was my first fight in UFC. When we got into the dressing room, I had a very tiny locker room, and it was so tiny we had to take the chair out of the locker room because even only for myself, I didn't have enough space to move around to warm up. And then I heard a commotion in the hallway, and then guess who got in the locker room? It was Weston fighting on the same card. He was with Mark Coleman, Kevin Randleman, Rico Rodriguez. Weston father was even bigger than Weston. So for me, it was I was like, man, we're never gonna have enough space. So I had to go in the bathroom to warm up, doing jumping jack for that fight.
The other story that I want to talk about real quick is it doesn't surprise me that it's David Loiseau, but you guys snuck into the octagon when you first came to the UFC, and that doesn't surprise me whatsoever because it's David Loiseau. But can you talk about that experience?
Yeah, we snuck in the octagon. It didn't have any security, nothing. I was with David Loiseau, and we got into the octagon, and we had a workout. It was crazy. We work out. Nobody was there to stop us. I was amazed. I thought it would have security or something.
And now it's safe to say that you're probably the king of the octagon, but you have to defend your territory on Saturday night against a guy in Johny Hendricks that many are saying that this is the guy that's going to end George St-Pierre's reign. Now, I've gotten in a bit of trouble saying, well, I've heard that before with Thiago Alves. I heard it before with BJ Penn. I've heard it before with the other guys. They're all great fighters, but for some reason, this is different for you because he does bring different things to the table. He is potentially your toughest test.
He is my toughest test, without a doubt, and I treat it that way. And I'm very, very ready for my toughest test. I'm the best shape I ever been, best shape of my life, and I'm ready to go.
One of the things that I get asked a lot is, what do you notice in George that's different than all the other fights? And the word obsessed comes up to me in this one here. It just seems different in this one here. Other ones you're motivated, like BJ Penn when he said he's going to kill you and stuff like that. That was just motivated to prove him wrong. But why the obsession with Johny?
I'm obsessed because as soon as my honor got raised, after my victory with Nick Diaz, I knew I was going to fight him, so I've been thinking about it since then. I'm getting ready for him since then.
And the other thing I tell people is you don't know what it's like to defend a welterweight title. Only George St-Pierre does. And people are saying, oh, he's too obsessed. He's wasting all this energy. What answer do you have for those guys?
So far, it works very well.
What is your perfect fight on Saturday night? Do you have one?
Yeah, winning in less than a minute, first round. But I'm gonna take the fight to him, and it's gonna be a tough fight, and it's gonna be I'm ready for a war, and ready for everything. I'm the most well prepared I could be. I'm very confident.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
There he is, the welterweight champ of the world, George St-Pierre, defending his title Saturday night, UFC 167 versus Johny Hendricks.